So today we're going to talk about building a magnetic personality. We're going to teach a training on how to develop charisma, develop humor, and use storytelling to become an irresistibly interesting man. Because just imagine walking into a room and instantly drawing people in. And not because you are the loudest or, like me, the best looking man out there. Yeah, but because there's just something about you. And men just want to be around you and want to speak to you, and women want to come at you and talk to you. And your conversations, they seem to light up wherever you go. Yeah, so what's the secret there? What's the secret to accomplishing exactly that? Well, it's not luck. It's not genetics. What it is it's a magnetic personality. And in this training, you are going to discover how to develop the charisma, the humor, and the storytelling skills that make you the man that everybody wants to know. Yeah, so you're going to learn real world secrets to building a magnetic personality. You're going to learn how to radiate charisma, how to use humor to break the ice, and to tell stories that captivate and inspire. Yeah, we're going to break down the habits and the mindsets of truly interesting men. And I'm going to show you how to communicate, that you actually live a full life, an interesting life, a life that's worth wanting to be a part of. And I'm going to teach you how to share your wisdom in a way that draws people in. So by the end of this training, you'll have a step-by-step plan to becoming the man who naturally stands out without trying too hard. Is that a cool goal to have for tonight? Is that a cool goal? Yeah? So for the guys who don't know who I am, my name is Rink. I'm from Holland. Outside of Holland, people actually call me Rick the Dutch guy, Rick Dutch. And I have helped men since 2009 internationally to transform not just from a nice guy, but from a nice guy into the most memorable person in the room. And if you want to become the man who leaves a lasting impression, an impression that women actually remember you and want to see you again, then this training is for you. Now let me first talk about, let's call him Sam. Let's introduce you to Sam. Sam is 36. He works in tech, and he always felt like he faded into the background. Yeah, something that a lot of guys experience. Now, he's smart, he's kind, but conversations with women, they never seem to go anywhere. I mean, he would listen, he would nod, and he would ask all the standard questions. And he would do his best, but he rarely got a second date. Now, one night, after a friend's party, a woman told him, Sam, you're nice, but I just didn't feel that spark. Yeah. And he heard it a few times before, but for some reason, with that lady, it hit him hard. It kicked him in the balls. And it was then that Sam realized that he was playing it safe. Yeah, because he was never really sharing his opinions, his actual opinions. He was never telling stories. And he was always afraid to show his true self. And yeah, he wanted to change. And he made a decision. He decided to change. He started working on his charisma skills. He started working on his humor. He started practicing storytelling, which is fucking important, guys. It's really important to share, to being able to share good stories. And when he implemented everything that we taught him, his results were dramatic. Yeah, well, dramatic in a good way. I mean, people started seeking him out. Women became genuinely interested in him. And Sam finally felt like an interesting interesting man in that room that he was in, in any social situation. So if you've ever felt invisible or just nice like Sam, this training will show you how to become a little bit different, a little bit magnetic. And I'm going to talk about 5 specific steps that you can implement. So please write these things down, make notes. Yeah, don't let it pass by and think, because this is one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of guys make. They listen and then they think they know it. No, you don't. Yeah. If you don't have the results, you don't know it yet. And if you really want to know it, you have to be able to implement it. And to implement it, you have to remember everything. So you have to write things down. Yeah. So step 1 is we're going to cultivate charisma. Now, what is charisma? My definition, from my point of view, charisma is not about being the loudest or the most outgoing guy in the room. Yeah, it's about presence. It's about being fully engaged in the moment. And it's about making others feel seen and feel valued, if that makes sense. Yeah, you have to see it like this. Charismatic men have this quiet confidence that just naturally draws people in. Yeah, they listen deeply. They make strong eye contact. They respond with genuine interest. And when you are with them, you feel like you are actually a person that matters. Now, to develop charisma, you're going to have to start by focusing on your energy. This means that when you enter a social space, a room, you have to take a moment to ground yourself. Yeah, you have to, like the moment you walk in, breathe deeply. Yeah, take that fraction of a moment, like to breathe deeply and to set the intention to simply connect with others. Yeah. I have a very charismatic friend. He's one of my best friends. He teaches trainings inside our community. And he's a very naturally charismatic guy. And one thing that I learned from him, and that makes him so charismatic, is that charisma is also about giving and not about taking. Yeah, which is what a lot of guys are trying to do when they go to a social setting. They are trying to take. They're trying to take a phone number. They're trying to take a girl home. They're trying to take something. Yeah, but they don't focus on giving. But charisma is about giving. Yeah, you're not about taking. So focus on making other people feel good in your presence. Not just the girl that you like. Everybody. Yeah, because you are either charismatic or you are not. And when you try to fake this, your true self will leak through. So genuinely be about giving. Focus on making others feel good. Compliment sincerely. Ask thoughtful questions. Be naturally and truly curious about people's lives. Be naturally curious. Being naturally curious already helps you move through social situations so fast, and it will really help you. Because when you are naturally curious, you know, you have this, it's almost like a childlike state where nothing really matters, where nothing really bothers you. You're just naturally curious. Hey guys, you know, I see you standing here. You seem cool. My name is Rick. Nice to meet you. It could be that simple. And when you do that with a natural, sincere curiosity for who these people are, you're not coming across as someone that wants something. Hey, you're just passing by. And I'm naturally curious. I see you guys standing here. Yeah, you can actually use this as an opener. Hey, what's up, guys? You know what? No, I don't want anything from you. I'm not a door-to-door salesman. I'm just naturally curious. And I wanted to come and meet you. Hey, my name's Rick. What brought you guys together tonight? For an example. Yeah, when you do that with a naturally curious energy, it will work and it will click. And people will actually genuinely feel all right with you joining them. Yeah, instead of you trying to pick up the girl and put everybody on edge. Now, another key to charisma is something that I just did right now. It's emotional expressiveness. Emotional expressiveness is one of the main tools of a great presenter. Yeah, so don't be afraid to show enthusiasm, to show surprise, to show, you know, they are actually an emotional person. Instead of communicating, I am too cool for school. Nobody likes too cool for school people. Yeah, be enthusiastic. Throw in some emotions. Inject some emotions in your interactions, and they will feel, well, they will feel way more alive, if that makes sense. Yeah. And when you share your feelings openly, and your thoughts openly, and your enthusiasm openly, you actually give others permission to do exactly the same. So this creates a sense of trust. This creates a sense of commonality. It creates a sense of intimacy. Hey, we are the same. Yeah, you create that intimate bubble, that social bubble. And finally, remember that charisma is a skill. It's not a trait that you were born with. Yes, some people are naturally born charismatics. Yeah, most people are not. Most people have to train those skills. That's one of the reasons why I record these videos. Yeah, why I record these trainings. It's because I want to improve my charisma skills. Yeah, so there you have it. And the more you practice, and the more you practice injecting emotion, and the more you practice being present and being engaged in the conversation and making eye contact with everyone there, and when you become more expressive, the more natural it will feel. Yeah, in the beginning it will feel very unnatural, and you think like, why the hell am I listening to that Dutch bald guy with his weird accent? But the more you do it, the more natural it will feel, and over time you will notice that people will start to gravitate toward you more and more. They will become eager to be a part of your world. Yeah, so that's my take on charisma. I can go way deeper, and I have other trainings on our YouTube channel as well, in which I dive into different aspects of charisma. But I think for now you really understand it. But you have to practice it. You have to do it. You have to do it to become good at it and to become natural at it. Yeah? Step 2, develop a playful sense of humor. Yeah, so step 1, cultivate charisma. Step 2, developing a playful sense of humor. Humor is one of the most powerful tools for building attraction, for building connection, for building trust, for building commonality. It breaks the ice. It breaks the ice and it lowers defenses. Yeah, it makes people want to be around you. Look, and no, you don't have to become a stand-up comedian to be funny. The most attractive humor is playful. It's light. And it's rooted in your own perspective on life. So I usually say, and I keep repeating it, first, start by not taking yourself too seriously. Yeah? Look, the universe doesn't take you seriously. Girls don't take you seriously. Yeah, women don't take you seriously. Why? Don't take yourself too seriously. Nobody does. So why should you? Yeah, you're going to have a little bit of fun. Yeah, let go. Poke some fun at yourself in a way that shows confidence, not insecurity. Yeah. Usually I would say self-deprecating humor, don't use it, but when you use it sparingly and in a light-hearted way, it can actually make you relatable and approachable. Like, so for an example, yeah, like if you spill your drink, say you could actually say something, yeah, I guess I'm just trying to keep the floor hydrated. You know, nobody thinks of the floor anymore. And you do it again. You know, just a little bit. Look, be creative. Be creative. Try new things. And when you do it from I don't really give a shit kind of frame, as if you are trying to be humorous just to humor yourself, you can get away with a lot of shit. You can get away with a lot of things. Yeah? So, yeah, there you go. And observational humor. It's also a very great tool. Yeah, so for an example, you could comment on the little absurdities of life, or you could playfully exaggerate everyday situations. You know, this shows that you represent, that you're present, and yeah, that you're engaged in, you know, in the world around you. So for an example, if you're at a yoga class and you're struggling with a pose, which I had, you know, I've been to 2 yoga classes in my entire life. And I remember the whole class laughing because I was whispering, I just don't think my body invented, you know, this shape, just like, I was I was talking about, you know, things that didn't go. I was struggling, man. I was struggling, and I was talking about it, and people laughed. You know, so don't take yourself too serious. Humor also means that you should be playful. Playful with yourself, playful with others. Yeah? Especially with women, man. Like, you have to tease them a little gently, use witty banter, and don't be afraid to be a little mischievous. Yeah, a little bit naughty. Like, you have to allow that schoolboy that mischievous schoolboy back out again. Yeah, look, the key is to make people feel good. Yeah, never put someone down or make jokes at their expense. So you can be a little bit naughty, a little bit, like you're that mischievous guy. Like James Bond, for an example. He has that mischievous look on his face and, like that smirk. Women love that. And when you use humor to lift the mood and create shared laughter, you automatically become magnetic. Yeah, so humor is very important. Finally, remember that humor is like a muscle. The more you practice, the stronger it gets. Yeah, so watch comedians, read funny books, look for humor in everyday life, and over time, you will find your own unique humorous voice, if that makes sense. Yeah, but you have to practice it, and you have to practice it out in the field, out in real life, in social settings. That's where you practice your practice and master your social skills. Yeah. Step number 3. You're going to have to master the art of storytelling. Master the art of storytelling and master the art of storytelling in an engaging way. Great storytellers are unforgettable. Yeah, they captivate attention, they spark emotion, they make people feel like they're part of the adventure. Yeah, and if you want to be magnetic, you have to learn how to tell stories that just draw people in. Draw people in and reveal who you are and what your life is about. Yeah, so start by collecting stories from your own life. Moments of challenge. Yeah, moments of triumph. Moments of embarrassment, moments of discovery. Yeah, the best stories are not always the biggest. Yeah, sometimes a simple moment told with vivid and alive detail can be the most powerful. Yeah, but like think about what you learned in a certain situation. Think about how you felt. Think about what it was that made a certain moment memorable. Yeah, so again, when you want to share stories, the ones that are really interesting and that you can talk about really well are stories of challenge, triumph, embarrassment. Yeah, embarrassing stories do really well. Or stories of, where you discovered something amazing. Yeah, and think about what you learned, how you felt, and what that moment made it memorable for you. Now, when telling a story, you're going to have to talk in a way that makes people feel something, yeah, that makes women feel something. Because one of the shittiest things as a woman that you can go through is being at a date, meeting a guy, meeting you for the first time, and having to deal with the same barrage of boredom that any other guy sends her way. Because it's usually always, and I always laugh about it when I'm with my girl and we're sitting outside. We're having dinner, we're at a bar. We see the couples and we can actually see the ones that are having a good time and the girls. When women are bored out of their brain, like they're doing their best to still smile politely with the guy, and the guy goes with the same boring shit. Like, what do you do for work? What kind of music do you like? What kind of movies do you like? Where are you from? Like all those stupid where, what, why, how questions. Stop asking questions. Start telling stories. And tell stories in a way that tickle her emotions. When you are able to do so, you automatically set yourself apart from most of the guys out there, 95%, that she just like never wants to see again. Because yes, they were nice and they were friendly, but they were boring. So stop being boring and start talking, sharing stories and talking in a way that tickles her emotions. And how can you do that? Use sensory details. So for an example, instead of saying, I went hiking. Yeah, I went hiking. Yeah, that's how men communicate. This is what I did. Yeah, facts. Say, I was halfway up a muddy trail. The rain was pouring down. My shoes were making that squelching sound with every step, like the trail was slippery, and I almost slid down the mountain. For an example, yeah, do you understand the difference? Bring your listener into the moment. Yeah, you want her to be there with you, experience your life with you, your interesting, amazing life. So use your voice, use gestures, use facial expressions, to add color, to add emotion. Make sure to add sensory details and use vivid expressions or vivid, how do you say that in English? Like for an example, how did you feel? What did you hear? What did you smell? Yeah, like you have to bring it alive. You have to bring it alive. Express yourself in an emotional way, and she will be able to feel it. And that's what you want. And also understand that every story has a point, has a lesson, or has a twist or a moment of realization. Yeah, don't just recount events. Yeah, share what you took away from the experience. Yeah, this is how you communicate live wisdom. Yeah, and depth, making you more attractive and relatable. And you're basically communicating, I am intelligent enough to learn from some weird ass experiences that I, went through when I was trying to get up a mountain. And you're going to have to practice your stories. Tell your stories. Tell your life stories, like your actual life stories. Tell them to your friends. Tell them to people around you, your colleagues at work. And notice what exactly it is that makes people lean in or lose interest. Yeah, and refine your delivery. You have to practice it, and you have to tweak your delivery. And over time, you will develop a repertoire of engaging, emotionally tickling stories that you can share in any social setting. And when you're able to do that, you're automatically the man that people want to listen to. Yeah, but you're going to have to share your stories in an interesting way. Yeah, and there's actually an art to storytelling. Yeah, but practice. You are where you are right now, and it's only uphill from here, or downhill. What is it? Is it uphill or downhill? Anyways, you want to go up the hill, right? 4. Guys, and this one is very, very important. I keep pounding this on men. Step 4, communicate that you live a full and interesting life. One of the most attractive qualities in a man is the sense that he's living a life that he actually loves. Think about that. I'm not saying the, but one of the most attractive qualities in a man is the sense that he is living a life that he actually loves. So, when you talk about your passions, when you talk about your adventures, when you talk about the things that you are working on, your goals, your vision, your dreams, you naturally communicate value and depth. And this is what women are drawn to. Women are drawn to men who have their own interests, who have their own goals, who have their own experiences. Men who don't need someone else to complete them, but who invite others into their interesting world because they are walking a path. And when they start talking about that path, she just desires to be a part of it. And again, I keep blasting guys because when they are on a date, they ask boring questions instead of communicating that they have an interesting life. That's what you need to communicate. You will not get a woman interested in you when you ask her boring questions and when you simply answer hers. Yeah, when she asks you a qualifying question and you simply answer. This is why you have to master the art of storytelling, because through storytelling you can actually communicate stories from your life in an interesting way that grab her and hold her. Yeah, and unfortunately, more and more guys these days are sitting at home. They're not going anywhere. Their hobbies are playing computer games. Which I understand. It's nice to sometimes do. Again, sometimes, not all the time. But they have nothing going for themselves. And they feel half full or half empty. And they desire a relationship with a girl that completes them. Whereas a woman, with her naturally hypergamous nature, she doesn't want a half man. She wants a full man. She wants to know that you are 100%, and she wants to be able to look up to you and pull herself up to your level instead of coming down to your level. And you can communicate that you are living up there by communicating in an interesting way, because you master the art of storytelling, and you communicate that you have an interesting life. A life worth sharing. A life that inspires her and motivates her to want to be a part of it. So, start by investing in yourself. Yeah, pursue hobbies, learn new skills, get your ass out of the house, go on an adventure. It's super important. Men have to experience adventures, because it not only sharpens our life skills. It not only sharpens our character, it also gives us something interesting to say. Something that a lot of guys don't have. So travel. Get your ass out of there. Go to some country that you've never been. Go to some city. And when you come back, you actually have something interesting to share. You can actually share, like the story where you didn't have your phone on you and you just got lost in this city that you've never been to, and you didn't speak the language. Now you have an interesting story to share. Get involved in social communities. And the more you do, the more stories and experiences you will have to share. And this is not about bragging or about listing achievements. It's about sharing your genuine excitement for life. Yeah, then when you are in a conversation, you are actually able to weave your interests and your passions and your goals and your dreams and your life experiences and all the things that went wrong. You're able to naturally weave them into the conversation. So that when she asks you, so how did your weekend go? That you don't just answer with, yeah, not much, just chilled, played a computer game. Like, dude, she will get drier than the Sahara Desert when you do that. And I know that a lot of guys do that because I see their screenshots from all their stupid WhatsApp conversations, boring these women to death. And then pointing angrily, their fingers to women because they don't get chosen by these women. Well, of course not. If you were a girl, would you choose you if you were boring as you are right now? No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. If you were a lady, you would want an exciting guy in your life. Become that guy. Nobody wants boring. You don't want boring. Can you imagine? Yeah? Can you imagine dating a girl and you asking, hey, how's your day been? And she replies like every time, yeah, not much. Yeah, just chilled a bit. Yeah, smoked some weed. Yeah, nothing ever happens in my life. Like that is unattractive. It's fucking unattractive. So if you don't want that, don't be that yourself. So instead of saying and responding with not much, share a detail about how you tried a new recipe and nearly set your kitchen on fire. But at least the smoke alarm works. For an example, this shows that this communicates that you are engaged with life and not afraid to laugh at yourself and at things that go wrong. And living a full life also means being curious. Yeah, being curious is a very good character trait to have. Living a full life means being curious about the world, means being curious about others. Ask people about their passions. Listen actively. Look for ways to connect. Look for shared interests. Yeah, and when you show that you are both interesting and interested, you become magnetic. That's when you become magnetic. Yeah, and this is man, I really hope that you understand what I'm going to tell you now. Also you, because this is super important. Remember that your life is your message. And the more you invest in your own growth and in your own experiences and in your own happiness, the more naturally attractive you become, because you'll have more interesting stories to share. You have more exciting experiences to share. My girlfriend, my current girlfriend, the mother of my amazing daughter, she still says every time when I come with a new story that she never heard before about something that happened in my life, she looks at me, she goes like, wow, you really already lived 8 lives, have you? Exactly. I've lived 8 lives already. I've been traveling my entire life. I've been on adventures left and right. So I have interesting stories to share. Yeah, and the more that you invest in your life, man, it's your life. You only live once. Make it an interesting thing, you know, like to actually be able to share that with other people. It has to be interesting. If you want to have a woman in your life, if you really desire a long-lasting, steady relationship, you're going to have or build up life experience. You need life wisdom. You cannot do without. And the more you invest time and energy in your own life, the more naturally attractive you become. And people are drawn to those people who are genuinely alive, who are not afraid to live their lives. Yeah, so don't just exist, live your life. And dude, I'm saying this with a lot of love. I wish the best for you. Step 5, share your life wisdom with authenticity. A magnetic man, a charismatic man, a man that's actually worth listening to, is not just a man who is fun and who has interesting stories to share. He's also wise. Yeah, he has life experience. So, sharing your life lessons and sharing your perspectives and sharing your insights in a interesting way, an authentic way, that's what makes you stand out. It shows that you have lived, that you have learned, and that you've grown, and that you have something valuable to offer to the world, to offer to the lady, to offer to her and hopefully your offspring, your kids. And to be able to do that, you have to build up some life wisdom. And to be able to do that, you actually have to live an interesting life. See, so everything ties into each other. But you want to be able to have something valuable to offer. So what I would like for you to do is start reflecting on your own life's journey. What challenges have you overcome so far? I mean, I don't know how old you are, but let's say you're 35. From 0 to 35. How was it? How was the trip up until now? That's actually a qualifying question that I ask women as well. Like, okay, so you're 23, huh? Or 24 or 26, it doesn't matter how old she is. From 0 to where you are right now, how was it? What challenges have you overcome? What mistakes have taught you the most? What beliefs guide your decisions? What values guide your decisions? And these are actually questions that I ask. Yeah, these are qualifying questions, but I also want them to. I want to ask you as well. What challenges have you overcome? What mistakes have taught you the most? What beliefs or values guide your decisions? Write these things down. These are good things to know about yourself. These are good insights to have. And when you share these insights, do it with a bit of humility. Yeah, don't try to lecture anyone. Yeah, lectures are boring. Yeah, but yes, share them as a story, as a reflection of your life. Yeah, this is what I've been through. Yeah, so for an example, if someone is struggling with a decision, yeah, you're on a date, you're meeting, or preferably you are in a social setting and you're getting to know new people, and there's this girl and you like her and you're talking to everybody and her, and she's struggling with a decision. You could say, if you are life wise, hey, I've been there. I was in that similar spot. And you know what? When I was in that similar spot, I learned that sometimes the hardest choice is the right one. Just dropping it off with you, like see what you want to do with it. Instead of, yeah, well, you should do this and do that, and try to lecture her. But share your insights, because this invites a possible connection. It shows emotional depth. It allows for her to understand, hey, he's actually quite wise. He's been through this already. We're kind of the same. And wisdom also means knowing when to listen and knowing when to speak, and knowing when to listen and not speak. Yeah, because sometimes the most powerful thing that you can do is hold space for someone else's story. Even if you don't agree with something, you don't have to cut people off. You don't always have to be the one speaking. Even if you think it's dumb what they're saying, allow her or them their moment. Hold space for someone else's story. When you share, be honest about your struggles as well as your successes. But when people want to jump in, let them speak. Why? Because now they are investing in the interaction with you, and now the interaction with you, the conversation with you, becomes valuable. And when you are the only one speaking because you think that you are the most interesting person in everybody's life, you take away their opportunity to invest in the interaction with you. So all you do is pooping words, and they don't feel invested. And even when it comes to a number exchange, most likely, if she is not invested, she will not pick up the phone when you call. So they have to invest, which means that sometimes you have to listen and zip it. Yeah? And finally, remember that wisdom is a journey. Yeah, it's not an end destination. Wisdom is a journey. It's a life's journey. And by living your life, not by existing, simply existing and smoking and wanking and playing computer games to try and escape from the hardships of life, as if our lives are harder than our grandparents and everyone before them. as if we have it, so bad. You're going to have to get your ass out of the house. You're going to have to start living life. Yeah, you're going to have to walk your path. You're going to have to get your ass on that journey. Keep learning. Stay open. And share what you discover along the way. And when you communicate your life lessons with authenticity and with emotions and make it alive, and share your drops of wisdom, you become the man that people trust, respect, and actually want to be around. Yeah, and that are the 5 steps, or, I could actually add a few more, but these are a few very important steps into building a magnetic personality. Yeah, you have to cultivate genuine charisma. You have to develop a playful sense of humor. Don't take yourself too seriously. Master engaging storytelling. Communicate that you live a full life. If you do not live your life, you have nothing interesting to share. No girl is gonna want to stick around you. Yeah, but communicate that you have a full life, an interesting life, and share your wisdoms with authenticity. These skills will help you to captivate attention, to inspire people, to inspire trust, and to become the man who actually stands out in a room, especially when you come back more often and people recognize you. Yeah, that's when you walk into a social setting alone and people in the back waving at you. Hey, Derek. Hey, Hans. Good to see you again. Why? Because people remember you and they want to be around you because you are interesting. And it's very simple, and simple is not always easy, but it doesn't have to be. I don't think life is supposed to be easy because there's no growth in easy. There's no building character in easy. And every day that you play it safe or hide your true self is a day that you actually miss out on real connections, real attraction. And guys, you cannot fake this. If you want to make a real connection with a woman, the woman of your dreams, yeah, the potentially the mother of your kids, you're going to have to live life so that you can actually find out who you are, express it, communicate it, and that's when real connection is able to form. That's when real attraction happens. Because you have to understand that there are men out there right now, they're lighting up rooms, building amazing relationships, simply because they dare to be magnetic. So don't let fear or self-doubt hold you back. Yeah, that's what, remember Sam, the guy that I started the training with? Once he started sharing his stories, using humor, and living life on his own terms, and actually getting out of the house and experiencing interesting stuff, that he could actually share. That's when things changed. He became the man that people wanted to know. And women, more and more women were drawn to his energy and to his depth and to his wisdom, to his experience. And you can do the same. Yeah, so if you are ready to become magnetic, start practicing these 5 steps. Start practicing today even. Yeah, don't put it off. Start. You have to start. Work on your charisma. Find the humor in life. Don't take shit so seriously. Tell your stories. Share your experiences. Live fully and share your wisdom. And do me a big favor. Share your progress. Share your progress in the comments. Share your progress in our community. If you enjoyed this training, if you found some value in it, subscribe for more and challenge yourself to make every social interaction count. Because the world is waiting for men who are alive. Women are waiting for men who are alive, who dare to step up, get out there in the real world, and start living an interesting life. Yeah, so step up and share your story and let your magnetic personality shine. The right people and the right woman will be drawn to you. Brother, with a lot of passion, with a lot of love, I hope I inspired you in some way. And I will gladly see you again next week, same time, same place, during the Thursday night training. With a lot of love, see you in the next one.